The unprecedented nature of this phenomenon.
Get that tingle? You know you're watching something that's going to change the course of history. You all right?
Yeah, it's this nervous tick I have. I get this itch.
Oh my God.
Thing appeared. Same place, exact same time. But it just made a bunch of weird hand gestures.
Everybody, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt Atchity, that's Alonzo Duralde, that's Christy Lemire. When we drink, we turn into giant monsters. We're talking about Colossal.
That is kind of the story of my life, it's true. So Anne Hathaway is kind of a functioning alcoholic. I mean, she's out of work and she's kind of a mess, but she drinks and she's still of the world until her boyfriend, played by Dan Stevens, kicks her out of their apartment and she has to go back to her small town. And when she does that, beyond just the boredom and the existential crisis that she undergoes, monsters start showing up and destroying Korea. Take a look.
I'm gonna show you guys something.
It's dancing.
Is dancing like...
Holy shit.
What was that? What was that?
A helicopter.
With like the pilot and everything?
I feel terrible.
Give him a good show.
Keep it cool. Oh my God, those people are looking at us.
She's the monster.
This does so much, so ambitiously, so well. Like on paper, the idea of, okay, indie dramedy about going back to the hometown you hate, which is its own genre.
Sure.
And just big ass monster movies.
What if instead of having a mom die of cancer, we have kaiju?
Let's put them together, and it sounds like it wouldn't work, and it does. Like it's so skillfully balances tone. It's written in such a smart way. I mean, underlying all of this is this allegory, and it sounds really heavy-handed and really obvious, but this allegory about like the monster that is within us all, that we must all battle, and her demon is her substance abuse problem and her self-esteem problem. But I was amazed at how well they pulled it off.
Yeah, I mean, I went in kind of expecting this monster movie, and it's this one of the more interesting movies about addiction I think I've seen in recent years. Hathaway really pulls it off. I mean, she starts out as this kind of like sort of adorable mess, sort of like early Liza Minnelli circa the sterile cuckoo, but she kind of comes to figure out what's going on in her life and how to fix it, and then she's got to deal with you've got the ex-boyfriend played by Dan Stevens. She rekindles this childhood friendship with Jason Sudeikis, who runs the local bar, and at first seems to be a super affable guy, and then the more we get to know him, the more we kind of discover he's got some odd layers as well. So it's a very tricky balancing act, and you keep waiting for it to collapse. And I would argue that it might at the very, very end, and I'm not going to talk about what the very, very end is, but up until that point at least, and it nails it. And even the ending, while I had some issues with it, didn't sour me on the whole movie.
The last line works.
The last line is great. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I really like this movie, and it's one of those ones that when you hear the premise, you're like, what the hell is this, right? But God, they nail it, and is it somewhat heavy-handed? Sure, but it does balance the tone. I've had a lot of people say that they've seen this movie and they really didn't like Jason Sudeikis in this. And I think that it's that people don't like the character he plays. And I think
he evolves.
Right, he evolves, and we see Sudeikis go to a very, very dark place that I think we haven't seen from him before. And it's kind of terrifying. And the supporting cast here too, like Tim Blake Nelson, I thought was really good. Austin Stowell as the other guy that kind of hangs out in the bar with them, I thought was really good. I think this movie's terrific, and I hope people see it because it's weird and crazy, and this is the kind of movie that you think about for a long time. Like, I guarantee you've never seen anything quite like this, and that's a real treat.
Yeah, and I think any movie that sort of operates with a big central metaphor still has to operate as a story and as a movie, and this one really does that. Like, you can read into, oh, well, this stands for this, or this is about that. But if you're just watching it as a story about a woman going through stuff and about this this horrible thing happening on the other side of the planet, and about what she's dealing with in her hometown. From scene to scene, just as a straightforward narrative, it really works. And then it also works with all the sort of kind of the metaphorical stuff you read on top of it.
We should mention who wrote and directed it.
Yes.
Nacho Vigalondo.
What else have we seen from him?
He is a Spanish horror director. Look it up.
Yeah,
I'm blanking now that you
I
asked
should know
me.
my guys.
He's a Spanish horror director.
I know.
Alonzo, come on.
I know,
use your
but
people.
there's a lot of Spanish horror directors now.
He gave us VHS Viral. He gave us Open Windows. He does the segment at ABCs of Death. Did Extraterrestrial, a movie called Time Crimes.
Time Crimes.
Time
More than
Crimes,
perfect.
right? Okay, yes.
So it's a very vivid sense of place too with the small town. I think it's New Hampshire because it's a 603 area code. But it
Nice.
was, thank you. My husband's from Nashua, New Hampshire, but it was shot in Canada. But it has a very vivid sense of like generic, dreary small town where people are just stuck.
Yeah.
The bar that Jason Sudeikis' character has taken over from his family, which becomes like their hub of all this activity. It evolves too as the movie goes on. And I hate to call it a character, but it provides a great sense of who these people are and what their lives are like. And the main little problem I have is that maybe the supporting characters aren't that well developed, right? So I think Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis' characters develop very well. They evolve together, they evolve apart, and that all makes sense to me in terms of who they are and their characters' journeys. But like the quiet, cute dude is a little bland. Right. Dan Stevens so frequently gets cast in these like pretty boy villain roles, like awful bad guy roles, and he's just that, and you don't really know what she sees in him. Beyond the fact that he's cute and successful, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
That's the only problem I have with it.
We could have got a little more. But I have to say, I think there are a lot of people who are probably thinking, ugh, Anne Hathaway.
No, she's very good in this.
She's so good in this. And I think there was a period there where it was like, okay, enough Anne Hathaway.
I don't understand the Anne Hathaway backlash.
You watched one day.
The Hathlash.
You watched one day.
I did see, and like what's the one with Robert De Niro, The Intern?
Oh, The Intern, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so she was just like adorable.
There was a little, the pixie got a little heavy after a while. And so, but I think she very wisely kind of went away for a bit, and then she's taken this role where she is literally like kind of hiding behind her bangs for most of the movie. So it's not the sort of, if you think you know the performance you're gonna get from her, you don't. So even if you are somebody who got super fed up with Anne Hathaway and didn't want to see her again, she's giving you new stuff here.
Yeah, it's flawed. She's flawed, she's a little grubby, and we make it sound like it's dark, but it's also really funny.
It's very funny.
There are some through lines, I don't want to say what, but there's like moments that repeat themselves. They get funnier over and over again. So yeah, it's surprisingly funny, although it is about, like the world potentially ending.
Yeah.
So anyway, what are your numbers?
Did I say 8?
You did not, but you can.
No, what did I say?
You said 7.5.
I'm going to say 8. No, I'll say 8. I liked it a lot. Just like minor quibbles with the ending, but they did not put the kibosh.
I give it a 7.
Okay, I'm saying 8.3.
8.3, 16, 7, 7.8.
Okay, so 7.8 is now our number. And where is it in tomato meter?
76% on the tomato meter right now, certified fresh.
It's one of those movies where either you're gonna go with its central conceit or not. I would recommend really hard trying to go with it.
Yeah.
Bye.